Thank you, Clint. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Everybody's good? Stand up, do a seventh inning stretch. No? No Blue Jay fans. Okay. I will try to be quick. I know we're a little bit behind schedule, so my plan here today is to give you a little bit of an update on what's transpired over the last little while regarding education and certification. And then we'll issue a few certificates to those individuals that are present to receive them today. So, one thing I want to stress, and we've been doing for the last couple of sessions, is we're very proud of an MOU that exists now between CanBIM Education Committee and Building Smart Education Committee, and some of the common points here that I've illustrated. Basically what we're trying to do is come together on common ground, developing learning outcome frameworks for educational institutions, training providers, and create one healthy, unified BIM education plan for Canada so that we can basically ensure that what is being delivered in terms of education is really what the people in this room are looking for to satisfy what it is they need to be successful. So we've been working together with Building Smart Canada, I'd say, for about a year now. So we're very close to finalizing a number of issues, and I hope that that will happen very soon in the new year at the latest. Hopefully by our next session we can have some more announcements about this. What we're trying to do in doing this, there's a lot of new elements we're considering, but we're trying to leverage the progress that both Building Smart and Building Smart Canada and CanBIM have achieved. Some of the elements here are databases, benchmarking of outcomes, so it's consistent across the country and hopefully blending into international opportunities. I mentioned yesterday at our AGM that we are developing opportunities where our outcomes for education could be integrated and adopted by other countries, other institutions. In fact, I'll mention them again. There's a group of gentlemen here from Colombia where we touched upon this yesterday, and hopefully we will continue this talk after this session where we can actually help them integrate some of the current outcome curriculums into their programs in their country, and hopefully others as well. And our CanBIM program and course designation levels, which correspond, and I'll talk about that now, to our existing and new certification levels. So that progress that we're trying to leverage is our certification program. I'm sure you may or all be aware that BSI just recently, I believe within the last couple of days, indicated or announced that they will be releasing their certification program, qualification and certification program. So we've been talking to Building Smart and Linda in the Education Committee to see how we can ensure that what we've leveraged as CanBIM works together with what Building Smart Canada will integrate from BSI as well. Our goal obviously is to make one common voice when it comes to education and certification in Canada. How that's going to evolve will happen over the next few months, but we really feel we're working together nicely, and we think we can really be successful in unifying that vision for Canada. So quickly, our certification programs that we have are constantly moving. It's a moving target, constantly evolving, constantly growing, constantly readjusting to accommodate gaps that are frequently identified as we begin to receive applications on an ongoing basis. Somebody said, we're always talking about certification programs. Like every time I talk about it at these sessions, there's something new to talk about. So hopefully, I think that's a good thing, because it means we're really hitting the new targets that are presenting themselves. Our basis for certification has always remained the same thing. There is a knowledge base of comprehension and understanding and perhaps repeating. There is a skill component where there is an applied learning and applied demonstration attached to it, and then there's an experience basis. We try to identify and group together all three of those components at various levels, because we've We're aware of the fact that industry wants to know not only what people know, but what people can do and what they've done. I was talking to a few people yesterday. When they see the certification, they know that an individual or a course or a program has been reviewed by industry leaders to verify that an individual has actually achieved certain benchmarks in their career. It helps them in their hiring process. It helps them in growing their companies. We're very happy to say that just recently I've received a couple of emails from some of our members that they're actually now seeing RFPs for government projects where CanBIM certification levels are referred to as not set requirements, but preferred requirements. And that is really what our goal was, to ensure that higher levels are beginning to understand that there's a recognition factor to somebody who is a level 3 certified or a CP certified. So now it's working its way into RFPs. It's been seen in RFPs. So for us, that's a little pat on the back, because it indicates that finally some of the owners are beginning to see, well, okay, these people know particular aspects that we need to ensure are involved with our project. So that is our framework, our guidelines for creating and maintaining and growing our certification program on all the different levels. We've got 3 distinct components to the program: professional, educational, and company. And we'll look quickly again at the professional. We've basically broken it down. The way it works is there's a pre-professional component, which we call foundations, and there's a professional, I was going to say post-professional, but that would leap right over professional. So then there's a professional component, which we call a professional certification, as opposed to foundations. Foundations is a very basic uptake of knowledge. It could be coursing, sitting in a classroom, doing a course for a certain number of hours with certain learning outcomes. And we've broken that down into 2 levels. It's the 3 levels. There's a theory foundation level that has certain levels to it. Software is the same, so we go from introduction, intermediate, to proficient and advanced. And management is the time. There's 2 different management components. That's why you see it 2 times there. So that acknowledges courses out there that are dealing with those aspects. People learn about it, have not applied it yet, but we do understand that there's a recognition of that foundational element that then will lead to quality or qualifications moving forward to professional. Professional, we've broken it down to 3 tags. These are not the tags that we use for the actual certification levels, but just to indicate we've got an intermediate, a proficient, and then the advanced level. Levels 1, 2, and 2.1 are intermediate. As you move up to 2.5 and 3, you're getting more into the management component and administrative aspects of a project, of a BIM process. And then advanced is certified professional, where it is if you recall the slide before this, it was the repetition of projects. So somebody at a CP level has applied it and over and over again at a high level of application, synthesis, and evaluation. So they're able to be that driver for the project or for the companies. These are the 4 tags that sort of identify the different steps, and within those, the different levels. Right now, as of today, I'm happy to say we've got 243 certifications, some of which we will be handing out shortly. Our foundations are relatively new, so there's a series of zeros there. Hopefully those will change very shortly. You can see the other numbers: 54, 22 for levels 1 and 2, 38 and 1 for 2.5, 3 and 2.5 respectively, and 28 for the CPs. So the numbers are really growing. That is over the period of just over 2 years. The growth has been really good. We actually had 67 applications for this round, of which I believe 23 were assessed, or 24 more were assessed. I think about 40 were assessed. Some of them were deferred for various aspects of the submission not meeting the minimum requirements at the submission level. But of the ones that were assessed, 23 came back at the various levels of certification. So that's very consistent now. It's really growing. 67 applications proves to be quite a monumental task when you're reviewing and assessing everything. So I'm happy to say that we're trying to facilitate the process for the user and the assessors and the reviewers and CanBIM and everybody in the crowd. We're looking at finally implementing an online application process, which will simplify things a lot for everybody. Right now, we're using PDF, fillable PDFs, so that online process should really make everything easier, tracks CPD, and creates a data bank of archival material that we need to keep on file. So that's another good step for us. Because of the robust nature of the programs, we feel it's time for us to do that. Moving on to the next one is the company. So we started company certification last year at our AGM. We issued our first one, and over the last year, we've issued another 2. Intuitive received theirs a few sessions back. IBI just received it at Calgary, and today we'll be issuing another one to another company that's reached level 1 certification for CanBIM, which basically is one individual certified at each of the 4 levels, CanBIM certification levels. We're still working on 2. I was really hoping we could have it for this regional session. It's proven to be a little bit more complex to organize a level 2 and then subsequent level 3 and perhaps level 4, so we're working on it. Hopefully very soon that'll be rolled out for a beta run. And lastly, our educational. Again, we certify or we look at coursing and programs at an educational designation level to see how they fit into our foundations component and subsequently into our professional certification component. There's a lot of courses out there. We had a volunteer put together a spreadsheet of every single course that, through a search word directory, identified some component of BIM. And Jerry, how many pages was that spreadsheet? Just like, what, 40 pages of institutions, every single course that was conceivably possible to find across Canada was identified. So it's a bit of a crapshoot out there. Everybody's doing different things, and we're trying to see if we can help streamline that. This is what our education framework is trying to do. It's a big task, but I think slowly with a lot of the members in here, the support we're getting with some of the educational institutions, it's really starting to come together. Also, for training providers, we're doing the same thing. We're getting very good traction on that. A lot of people are coming to us now. In fact, we'll have another certification for a training provider today before we finish up. Very quickly, these are the different designations that we've established. So you can see the Tier 1 is the foundational, which then corresponds into CanBIM foundations. And Tier 2 is where the foundationals then get attached to a skill or an applied level, which consequently, with professional experience, leads to various levels of professional certification. So it is not strictly based on taking a course, it's about application. Somebody maybe has not taken a course but has a ton of experience, we've got a process to deal with those components and those applications as well. And I trust that within, before we leave this place today, I'll probably have to modify this, because as I said, it's just so organic and growing and morphing every time. It's a different beast every time we look at it, which is good, because I think a business needs to be that way in order for it to be successful, so the business of BIM needs to be that way, but also it's good because we're trying to make sure we stay on top of the little anomalies that may pop up as we move forward. So currently certified, we've got 3 programs out of Quebec. Review in progress, we've got 3 underway right now with Algonquin, School of Architectural Studies at GBC and NSCC, and pending SAIT, Vancouver, the BIM program at George Brown College, and Saskatchewan Polytechnic. So I trust, hopefully by Vancouver, our next session, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 of those will end up being certified if I'm not too ambitious, but I think we can do that. Currently, our training providers is growing every time. There's a full list there of private companies or training providers that have reached certification at different levels with CanBIM. And as well, SNC, we had spoken to them in the past. It looks like it's going to start up again. Right, Domenico? Okay. And dialogue as well. We've had some conversations. Hopefully we can get the ball rolling with them as well. And anybody else that has a corporate in-house training program, we'd be very happy to help you out. What does all this mean? What are the benefits to have that? Well, aside from the fact that we create a benchmark for industry, we've also done something to help facilitate the certification program for coursing that is from an individual who's completed a course which is certified under CanBIM. And there it is. Anybody who's applied for a permit in the City of Toronto will quickly realize they recognize the fast track application in the City of Toronto application. It's a myth. It doesn't exist at the City of Toronto. There is no fast track. There's just a line where people disappear and applications disappear. That will not happen with us. I hope there's nobody here from the City of Toronto. So our fast track, basically what it does is, if we've gone through the effort, or if a company has gone through the effort of getting their courses certified, we reviewed it, it's approved for a set period of time. Anybody completed that program or that course doesn't need to fill in the long form certification process. It gets reviewed, goes to the assessors give their opinion whether that person should be certified. It's a fast track, it's applied, it's a shorter application. You submit to us. Within 10 days of receiving the application, CanBIM verifies that you've completed the course. You've got your certification within 10 days of receiving the application once you've completed the course. So it helps us streamline the process. It helps the organizations that are providing the courses promote it that way, that your certification is almost instantaneous. 10 days could be considered instantaneous. But it just streamlines and grows the system even further. And we're hoping that as coursing grows, certification grows, and this will become a no-brainer for anybody taking a course at a college, university, or training provider. We had a very pleasant experience with the BIM program at George Brown back in July, where they submitted their program to the assessments. It was certified, and George Brown brought some students over from Shanghai. They gave them a very intensive BIM program over a coursing of 2 weeks. At the completion, because those students had completed the course that had been certified, they graduated from the program. They received their certificate from the college and their CanBIM certification all at the same time, which is an ideal circumstance. The U.S. is doing integrated pathway to architectural licensing that works the same way. There's 9 schools in the U.S. So you take that coursing, you cross the stage on convocation, you get a certificate of practice, which is kind of scary to hand to a graduating student, and your degree. So it is a way to expedite and streamline the process, and we're trying to mimic what those organizations are doing as well. So I think I've covered everything. Now we jump to the fanfare. We have a certification ceremony every time we have a session, and we try to recognize those individuals that have met the benchmarks, and anybody present at the sessions makes their way up, picks up their certification, gets the keys to a brand new car that's parked outside, and then there's a race to get to the car. Whoever gets there first takes it. No, I'm kidding. Jerry?
Which one's not first?
Individuals, please.
Make a note that we check the registration system and these people showed up in the system.
Jerry's telling me what to do again. He said to make a note that they check the registration, and these individuals are the ones that showed up. Right?
No, those were in the system. I don't know if they're still here.
Okay, so these were in the system. So our level 2, well, before I begin that, I'm sorry. The certification process, submit your application. When the deadline closes, it gets reviewed for submission compliance. If it meets submission compliance, it then goes to the assessors through our Google Drive, and the assessors are all CP certified individuals. who have seen, have applied. Most of them have been doing the certification assessment for a few rounds. And what we try to do is we have members of the board of directors, but we also try to bring in members of the general public, general membership, not the general public, the general membership that are CP certified. This round we had Scott, Paul Loretto, Brent Mouty, and Ian Trudeau, Scott Chatterton, as our directors. They're all CP certified. From our general membership, George Economakis, Magdalena Ordieniak, and Carl Villette, all CP certified as well. And certification happens if there is a unanimous consensus amongst the assigned assessors that the individual has achieved the level that they've asked for. So it is not subjective. It is subjective to a certain point, but there are guidelines and target points that they need to meet. But it is a rather rigid circumstance. It has to be a unanimous selection, and if it's not, there's I was going to say consequences. There's options for the individuals as they move forward and what they would like to do. So thank you to our assessors once again for taking the time to do that. We might as well give them a round of applause, right? So our level one of the applications we received, we had 4 yeses from our assessors, and these are the name of the individuals who received it. And do we have, no, none of these individuals are actually here. So congratulations to them. They will receive their packages in the mail. Level 4, we had, level 4. Level 2, we had quite a bit of applications, of which 9 received a nod for certification from our assessors. And you can see the name of the individuals there, and you can see we like to show the company because, again, the company can drive and promote these people in what it is they want to achieve in their careers, and it's interesting to see how it goes from academic, contractors, architectural. I believe we had training a couple of sessions ago. We had window manufacturers. We actually had somebody from the Manitoba Liquor Control Organization as well. I'm not quite sure, but how that worked out, but that was good to see as well. So it reaches out to different spectrums. But I believe Fernanda is here to receive her certificate. Perhaps? No?
There are a couple in there. Why don't you just...
There she is, Fernanda. Where's Tom? George, where's Tom? Where's Tom?
It's going to be Ian.
Okay. Next up, we have Robert is receiving his certificate as well today. Robert Enrique Alzuarde? No? Oh, he was here. They're calling him over. The grand entrance. It's just so dramatic. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Oh, Amanda.
We also have here today to receive a certificate, El Mahdi Ramaun. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. If I'm not, I apologize.
Next one.
Our level 3 candidates, Nick from Turner Fleischer, Hussam from Ellis Dawn, and Wendy from CH2M Hill. Congratulations to them. I don't believe any of them are here today, so they will be... Oh,
Sam is.
okay.
And Wendy's here too, I think.
Did you give those to me? Oh, I'm sorry. They're in the wrong order, that's why. Who's coming up first? Wendy?
I'll give them both.
Okay.
They're both coming.
Hi, Wendy. There's
That's Wendy.
Wissam and Wendy, right? Okay. So the certifications are valid for 2 years, within which that time you do CPD, you register your CPD. Over 2 years, certain number of hours, your certification is already automatically renewed every 2 years if you achieve that. Keep going? Okay. And lastly, we move up to our CP level, where we have 4 individuals: Glenn German, Farhan Haqqani, Martin No, and Steve Thorne. And I believe Farhan and Glenn are here. Gentlemen, congratulations. Congratulations to everybody, by the way. I didn't say that enough. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Once again, congratulations to all our certified individuals. And as certification grows, I mentioned earlier level 1 certification. So right now, level 1 certification recognizes and identifies companies that have at least one individual certified in their firm or company at each one of the 4 certification levels. There's some that have more of one and more of another, but if anybody's achieved one at each level, we like to recognize them. They get automatically reach CanBIM Level 1 certification. There is no application process. If you've achieved those parameters, you're automatically certified at Level 1. And I'm happy to say that this time around, our certified company today is Palmer-Lowe. They've worked really hard to get the individuals certified at their levels, so I would like to call up the group from Palmer-Lowe to receive their certificate. Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Good job, speaker.
And lastly, again, the educational component for CanBIM is extremely important. We've got a lot of leaders in delivering content for coursing, whether it's software, theory, management, and we're really happy that we have the opportunity today to certify 4 courses submitted to us by SolidCAD. Michael Rotolo from SolidCAD provided the information to us. And at today's ceremony, 2 courses delivered by SolidCAD. They're MEP Training Electrical and MEP Training Mechanical. There's a whole MEP theme at this one. Where's Yeet? Right? There you are. We had 4 opportunities to identify SolidCAD, and we had the MEP workshop yesterday, so it's sort of a theme this time around. Certified at introductory software and foundations, also intermediate software, their architecture training, and their Revit structure training. So Michael, if you are around, I'd like to call you up. Oh, there you are. Sorry, I didn't see you. Congratulations. So Jerry told me to hurry up, so I'm hurrying. I'm done. Thank you for your time. I hope to go from 67 applications to 167. No, I don't, because it's still on my shoulders, but We encourage you, please, if there's any questions, we're in the process of revamping our applications, so they're not on the website right now, but we're really hoping that this online application process kicks in very soon. Any questions with regards to certification, please see me today or email me directly. We're very happy to receive requests. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.